Hello, everybody. So today I am so excited because Nada, who came to me for a session, um, had told me that she does all these different things, or, her business is called Nada International. And she told me about this amazing trip to the Bosnian pyramids that she had not been able to do because of COVID. So I want to introduce you to Nada Corey. And Nada, thank you for being here. We're so excited. So, you know what happened, Nada? I got the message that I needed to stop doing and start being. And, that's why I decided to retire from doing hypnosis. And the first thing that came to mind is like, my love is to travel. And the first thing that popped in my head was your trip. I was like, oh, I'm going to call Nada to see if she's doing the Bosnian pyramids trip. So when I called you, you're like, well, I was kind of, I kind of was thinking about it. And, it was like a perfect connection, right?
Yes, yes. You actually prompted me into the action steps, really, because, the trip is there. It is already being created. Everything is there. And, I was just, all right, let's give it another month or so to make a decision if that's going to manifest this September, or is it going to move on to the next year? I was not kind of, dwelling on it. But when you mentioned it, it just ignited the fire. And I said, oh, well, hello. Okay, the interest is there. That means that we are ready to go. And it felt so good. And it really felt like it is already happening.
Yes. And it's so exciting too, because when I talked to you about it, everything you would explain to me about it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait, just so excited. And what's most exciting for me is that I'm not going with a tour company.
Correct.
I am going with a local who's
Yes.
going to take us to local places, who knows the place, who's not going to take us to tourist, places. It's more of a homey type, the type of trip that I love, and I'm just so freaking excited after you told me about it. So we decided to put together some slides, and we're going to tell you all about it. It's amazing. So Nada, anything you want to say before we start with the slide deck?
Yeah, well, just to add on to what you already said, it is my intention is to take you on a journey through your heart and your perception to the land that is of heart, and the people that are so open-hearted and embracing. They love just to take care of you. It's like you become family automatically. So it is experiencing Croatia and the Bosnian pyramids and Bosnia and Herzegovina from that perspective. You're going inland, you're going to the people, you're going to the land. You are actually connecting to that energy that is there. It's nothing of any kind of tourist thing where you browse through, touch something, this, that, whatever. It isn't. It is basically you are immersing yourself into life as is over there. So I'm taking you through my eyes. Yeah, I want you to see it and experiencing like I do. And my heart is so connected to the land and the people that I don't know wherever I am and how far I've gone, and I've been gone from there, not living there for a long time. But whenever I fly there, as I'm approaching, actually my late husband would say, oh, we're close. Look at her. She is beaming. So, that's exactly what it is. It is that amazing energy that draws you, that pulls you, that is part of me. So, I'm so excited to share it with everybody because, it comes from my heart, and it is my love, and I think it is my mission too. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I'm excited. So let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. And I also need to share sound to make sure everybody can hear it. And Nada, I'll just let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay.
But here we go.
Let's see. I hear it.
Beautiful. So the
Yes.
first thing is, and this is a little bit of what you were talking about, right, Nada?
Yeah. Yes,
That
correct.
you're from there, and
Yes.
and that now you live in Florida.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just excited to share this
Yes.
amazing journey.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's me. And
So
these are
here
some
we
of
go.
the, yeah, these are
Go
some
ahead.
of the highlights of the trip that, you know, you're going to see, experience, explore, and touch, you know, taste, touch, feel. The picture under the
Right here.
top 5 destinations, yeah, that is Mostar. Mostar is a UNESCO site. That bridge is a UNESCO site. It is over 2,000 years old. And basically you walk across that bridge, you're walking from the west to the east. The cultural shift happens in that moment. Literally, you know, you're walking into a bazaar from a regular kind of town setting, you know. Of course, and then look at that color of that water.
Oh, it's just
teal.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is
Beautiful.
amazing. So we're going to visit that on our visit to Bosnia, to Sarajevo. And of course, the top picture is the pyramids. You can see that beam coming up. We will see it later on as well.
Yeah.
You can see, you know, you can see actually the pyramid. It is completely covered with forestry, huge trees. So how would you know that that's a pyramid unless you have the eye or something is triggering you? Like Dr. Sam, when he was flying there to attend a meeting or something, and it caught his eye, and he said, that is unusual. You know, those sites, they're so precise and they mimic exactly a pyramid. And he, in his studies, has visited pretty much all the sites all over the world. So it's his specialty.
Beautiful. And we're going to talk about him later, right?
Yes, we are. And then the Plitvice lakes, you see the lakes, the teal colored lakes underneath. There are 16 lakes that flow naturally into each other. And it creates this, it's another UNESCO site, by the way, because it's so unique and so pure and clear. And you know, they're trying to keep it as such, even when visitors come and so on. So no swimming is allowed, and so no loitering and so on. But it's the energy in there is so pure. The ozone from all the waterfalls, you know, breathing in that ozonated air is so healing, so relaxing. It's just an incredible experience. So it's a must when you go to Croatia to see that and experience it. And then Sarajevo, the city that they call the Jerusalem of Europe, right? Because it's another melting pot of all the cultures, all the religions, all the different nationalities. So you have in the old city of Sarajevo, they are you in the same corners, so to say, you know, one next to the other. You have a mosque, you have a temple, you have a church, a Catholic church, like a basilica. I mean, they're all next to each other. It just tells you that, you know, there is no separation, right? We're all together. It's the same kind of feeling when you go to Jerusalem and you experience the same thing. All the cultures are working so well together and living together. Okay, why do we need to separate, you know, and create whatever we create? Anyways, Medjugorje is the next stop. is a side excursion for us where we travel deeper into Bosnia-Herzegovina. Actually, we're actually driving towards the sea, from inland towards the sea. We will not reach the sea, but we're driving in that direction. So it is a beautiful ride as well, through the canyons and the mountains. And then we reach first Mostar. That's our first stop on that side trip. And then later on, where we will, we'll talk about more about that. And then we end up in Medjugorje, which is a spiritual site where, I don't know, millions of people from all over the world, all religions, all walks of life, they all go there, and they pilgrim there because they have a petition, or they are having a need for healing. Usually that's what it is, that drives the human being to go and experience the energy. But the energy, the potency of that heart energy, I have pictures from my visits where, the aura is all green on that Mount of Operations. Green, 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 all heart chakra, amazing energy. And I have a connection to some folks that are growing the helichrysum plant, the immortelle plant. They call it immortelle. The immortelle, that means the immortal plant, because it survives in this ruggedness. But imagine the plant that grows in a center where millions of people come with their hearts open, right, to connect to that source energy. And now you have these plants that are indestructible, basically, from which they make oil, the helichrysum oil, which is one of the most potent essential oils for healing, right?
Yes, it's magical.
And having the opportunity to walk into those fields and feel the whole story. There's a whole story which I will tell you about that. Krapina is another place in Croatia which we will visit. There are the largest Neanderthal caves that have been found in that region. So there's a museum there, and just going back into that history, which is interesting. And there's also an old castle that represents the medieval times, and that time it's very picturesque. It's like beautiful to see. And then of course, wherever we go, we are going to explore and experience and taste local specialties and food that is basically coming from the land to your plate in masterful culinary ways. So
beautiful.
That's pretty much in a nutshell.
So let's get started with the itinerary.
Okay, if you've never seen or are wondering the location of Croatia, well, this is it. So on the east side of it is Italy. So the Adriatic Sea, which leads into the Mediterranean Sea. And if you go with that cursor further out, there, that's Italy.
Yeah, that's Italy. Mm-hmm.
Right, and up north is Trieste. You see Trieste up there? Go up past the green, no, to the left and down, Trieste. That's Italy already. So you see how close it is, Croatia, mm-hmm. Italy. That's why that region and that whole peninsula used to be at some time Italian, and then it would go back to Croatia or Austro-Hungarian rulership, because that whole area was under Austro-Hungarian monarchy for centuries. Okay, so that's just the location. And you see that BIH, that's uh-huh. Bosnia and Herzegovina, and you see Sarajevo. So that's where we're gonna go. Okay.
Okay, great.
And you see Mostar down there.
Oh, sorry.
Well. It's okay. It's okay. It's just, you can go back and, familiarize yourself, so we will see what territory we're going to cover.
Yes.
Okay. Why are we doing this in September? Why am I doing this trip in September? Because of the equinox, the fall equinox. The energy of that time is so precious and potent. And it just is the representation of the abundance of life, right? So it is the celebration, the ancient celebration of that time of the year where everything is abundant, right? So It is really an amazing time, and experiencing exactly that equinox energy, being on the pyramid of the sun or walking in the tunnels, is really special. So all my trips are kind of, that's the focal point, and then everything else is built around it. So there you go. It says achieve more clarity, connect with your soul's purpose. It's an amazing time to do that. And we have the opportunity to explore that further. And who knows, there's a lot of miraculous things that happen in that area as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is Zagreb. This is actually a very kind of a picture that you would take, right? It's not touched up or anything. This is the main square of Zagreb, which is the capital of Croatia, and the main and focal point of meeting point. So, for example, let's say we take you take a stroll of your own. You have your own time to go shop and explore, whatever. We could meet there. There's a clock, and you meet under the clock. A lot of times, young people for centuries, for decades, they would meet under the clock. It was a meeting point, and it still is. Can you believe that? So that's the main square.
Very
As you
good.
can see, the structure of the buildings is Austro-Hungarian from the 50s. But above that, you see the steeple of the Basilica, the cathedral there. Opposite of it, there is the center, the core of the old city from the 15th century, which is beautiful. And we will walk those cobble streets and have a view of the city from that perspective, because it's elevated, it's on a hill.
How exciting. Okay, next.
Oh, this is Villa Dora. This is my homestead. This is where I grew up. And we are now in the heart of the land. We're literally in the heart of the land. We are in a small town called Pokupsko, which Kupa is the river that flows through that area. So it is the town that has been built around it. Po means around this area of the river. And it's hilly. So you have hills and valleys and creeks and rivers, and it's beautiful nature. People go a lot hunting for mushrooms, like porcini mushrooms, if you like porcini mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to be there. Hopefully it will be a good season for that, because we will definitely have to explore and taste that. This villa, this old house, actually you see the dark part of it. That has been in my family for a couple centuries. Can you believe that? So during the last war, a lot of buildings have been destroyed and burned down, but that one stood. It did not burn down. So my youngest uncle, who is like my brother, he took it and made it into this house, which is one of the main areas where we will gather, have our meals. There is a beautiful porch overlooking the countryside, the valleys and the creeks down there. And there are a couple rooms in there as well. So this is the homestead where we will stay while venturing out from there every day, to like Plitvice Lakes, the city, and so on. Yeah. So
exciting.
Very peaceful there. The stars are beautiful there. This is the river Kupa. And this is a replica of an ancient Roman barge. The Romans actually used to, obviously, travel here, and it was part of Rome, of the empire. And my uncle, he is such a talented guy. So he created a replica of this ancient barge and made it into like a, people's traveling barge. Usually barges were used to transport goods, but he made it into, so there are tables and benches and so on, and we just take a ride on that beautiful slow flowing green river that takes you into a different time and connection to Mother Nature, and that beautiful river that slowly rolls on its path. So that's awesome. One part of our This is the view of the Villa Dora that I was telling you about. This is the patio. It's huge. From, you know, where there are tables as well. There's a huge barbecue area as well. There is like a pizza oven there and so on. But this is the view of your daily breakfasts, dinners, or whatever, you know, or just being there and enjoying, maybe having a beautiful meditation there, just connecting to the stars and to the earth and all of these magical beings, you know, that live in nature. So yeah, so that's what it is. And everything that you are consuming, it is all pretty much homemade and coming from the garden, as you can see. That that's how it looks, you know, inside. And then you have a strudel here that my aunt loves to bake, and she can make them the left, that's the strudel, yeah, in the oven.
Is this where we would eat right here?
Something,
like
yeah, something like that. This is another house like that, another restaurant where we will dine as well.
Oh, okay.
Like that. Yes. Yeah, so this is like all put together.
I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And this is the Dolac market. This is the main food supply place of Zagreb, of city of Zagreb, where people from all over the, you know, community, the entire state basically come and bring their produce. So you can, it is an amazing thing to walk through there and take in the scents and the colors of what you're seeing there. You know, you will definitely be tempted to buy something, whether you want to taste it or whether you want to buy some kind of little trinket or whatever. You know, there are wooden toys that people made like they used to, way back when, and so on. So it is definitely going to be part of our visit and exploration. So yeah.
Beautiful.
And of course, every day we're having a special meal in a special place. I've chosen some amazing restaurants and places to dine in that are special, that have authentic food, and they pretty much all do that. And this is one of them. So this is, you know, you can see how nightlife or restaurant life looks like there. And of course, it's Mediterranean style.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
This is the Plitvice lakes that I mentioned before. Yes. So this is what you're going to get to explore and see. And there are pathways all around. So we will walk all around a number of these lakes. So there is some hiking, you know, and it's not very strenuous, but, you know, you have to be fit to walk, to be able to walk for a bit, for a couple hours, you'd say, right?
Yeah. So you definitely have to be, you know, for this trip, you definitely have to be able to hike for a couple of hours for sure.
Absolutely. And that's the intention, was to connect to nature, right?
Yes.
To connect to life that is living. So as much as possible, that's what we're going to do. So we're walking wherever we are, we're walking. Of course, if we need to get to this point, so we will need to use our transportation to get there because it's a couple hours away. But when we get there, we're going to be walking around and just
that is just stunning, like stunning, like the Garden of Eden. That's like what I imagine it looks like, you know.
Yeah, and imagine standing under this big waterfall down there, and, you know, and just closing your eyes and connecting to the source energy and just doing a short meditation there. It is transformational. And if you have the vision, you can see the fairies, you know, you can see the
oh my God, it must be full of fairies, right?
Yes. Oh
my God.
Yeah. There's still more pictures of that, and there is a restaurant at the bottom part of one of those lakes where we will stop by. It's like a little village of itself, right on the creek, on the, you know, where the waters are flowing through, and they have their own trout there. So that's one of their specialties that they serve, like grilled trout. and whatever, whatever else, but that's one of their main specialties. So this area is also very close to where Tesla was born.
Oh, okay.
Tesla was born in Lika, in this, like by these lakes, like maybe half hour away. Okay, that's where his birthplace was. So if we want to, we can go there either prior or at some point of this visitation and just go through that museum. There's not much to see. It's just that old house where he was born and a little museum there. That's all.
Wow.
So not much time to be spent there. It's more, I think, much more favorable to spend it at the lakes, but you can go there and visit and, explore that component. And of course, after strenuous hiking and being out there in nature and traveling around, you need a little rest. So after that, we're taking a day of, just being at leisure and maybe going to the thermal baths. We have like 20 minutes or so away, natural hot springs.
Wow.
Filled with minerals. And they have created pools. It has been a healing facility in place since, I think, 1700. Wow. But of course, at that time, nobilities would come there for their healings. And there are, some names mentioned there for respiratory and whatever issues that they had. And they would go there and soak themselves in those mineral waters and get better. So that's one of the opportunities. And of course, if somebody wants to book any of their treatments there, like massages or mud baths, whatever they offer, we will have to pre-arrange that, of course, prior to. So if that's what you want to experience, besides going there and soaking in the water, there is an indoor pool. Actually, you enter into the indoor pool and then you swim out through a gateway into the outdoor pool. And you can do that all year round because the water is hot, right? It's warm from thermal heat.
So when we're going to be there, what's the temperature going to be like?
September is a beautiful time of the year. And sometimes it is still quite warm or enough during the day. At night, it might cool down a little bit. Hopefully, we're not entering into any kind of rainy season. If it's rainy, then of course you have the coolness from dampness from the rain. But usually September is the most precious time of the year. That's why I like to go there in September. First of all, you have all the fruits and the vegetables, and I love to go into the river and swim in the river itself.
Yeah.
Have you ever swum in the river?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, in the springs. We have springs here, so I do in the springs, which are really, really cold.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't be cold. It should be nice still, especially if there is a good summer. And the river is green, and you know how the river flows. It has a flow, and there is a current that can take you. So you have to understand it's not an ocean where you're in charge. The river can take you, so you have to swim. I love to swim across and back and so on, and just be in that environment. So I hope that it will happen, because I think you need to experience that, experience the energy of that water, the river.
Let's just create it right now.
Yes.
We just created it. We're gonna do it.
That's it.
No hoping. We're creating. We're there.
Yes, we're creating it. Okay, and then another day we're going to Krapina. Krapina is another town in Croatia, which is so rich in history. Okay, so here you have one of the Neanderthal caves that they have discovered, and there are several, and there is a whole museum about all of that. But there's many other historic things that happen in Krapina. Like, first of all, it is subalpine region, so you are in the foothills of the Alps. So that's another kind of energy again. So you have this majesty of the Alps. It's just incredibly powerful energy as well. And then there's a lot of, as I said, other historical events that happened there throughout the centuries of the existence of the people of Croatia there. There is an Ljudevit guy. He is the creator of the language and the language of Croatia. He has a big influence in there. So there's a whole history around that besides the beauty. It's also a wine country as well, because there's rolling hills again. Croatia is a lot of that. And then if you go next, I think it's that Krapina, that beautiful castle that I was mentioning. You see that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a Dvor Trakošćan, which Dvor means castle. And that used to be like just a little hunting chalet of some sorts. And then it grew, you know, because they liked the area, and it grew and became this castle, which can be toured, you know, or just, you know, looked upon. You know, it is very statuesque and impressive to be there. So it is another remnant of the Austro-Hungarian reign of that monarchy there. And of course, if you go further, of course, we have to end the day with another special meal in this beautiful restaurant called Vuglec, which is actually Michelin rated. So it's quite high there and recognized for the culinary expertise of the owners, who, by the way, are friends of my cousin.
You're
So,
connected.
that's what I mean. You see, when you go through a native, then you get in all of that.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you have a play and you
Beautiful.
can say and you can request and so on. So
Yeah.
so of course we will have a full day of visiting Zagreb and touring and learning about the history and walking those streets and shopping, you know, for gifts or whatever one wants. And of course, tasting some of their amazing specialties. And one of them is called krem šnita. It is like a custard square, which is this thick. It's just like vanilla pudding, and it's all cooked. I cannot find it anywhere. It is, you cannot compare it to neither Napoleon or eclair. It has a little bit of that, but it's not. It is not. And then the chestnut puree. That's very famous there. Chestnut puree, as you know, they make cakes and or just simply the chestnut puree. It's pureed and then they top it with some whipped cream or, you know, something like that, and it's delightful. It's delightful. So again, another tour of the city, of the flavors of the city, the food, the people, and whatever else you want to. They're beautiful museums. It's very rich in culture.
Very good. Very exciting. Let's see.
And then we traveled to Sarajevo. So we could drive there, but why waste the whole day of, you know, 6 hours of driving in a bus through there? Because of the war, I think there is no real good highways to make it in a shorter time. So the best way is to fly there. It's just about a half-hour flight. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it cuts the time much shorter and less strenuous on the body as well. So here we are in Sarajevo. As I mentioned before, it's where the East meets the West, where all these cultures and religions, you know, live together. As you know, and unfortunately in the last war, it has been very much under attack and destroyed. And you've heard the stories of Sarajevo, siege on Sarajevo, and it is located like in a kettle. So you have the hills, the mountains around it, and the city is inside. So of course, for any kind of war type of a scene, it is not a good position, because easily can be targeted and destroyed, or snipers, you know, and that's what has happened. But it has been rebuilt and it is reborn into this beautiful city as is now. And there is an old center, which they call Bar Čaršija, which is loaded with little shops little coffee shops. It's like you're walking through Istanbul, you know, through a bazaar, you know, and so on. So, and I've chosen a
How
little hotel.
exciting.
I've chosen a little hotel, which is right there at, you know, at that area. So you can walk through these streets in that old core city by yourself, or, you know, easily without having to take a cab or any such a thing. So it is truly an amazing city to visit and explore.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, and of course, you know, as we are there, we of course are going to some of their famous restaurants as well to taste the flavors of the Bosnian people. And the first evening, I've discovered this restaurant last time I was there. It's called Park Prinčeva, which is the Park of the Princess, they call it, because it's like on the elevation, and it has a beautiful view of the city. And again, it's authentic local food. They have live music there. So it's a nice introduction to the city as well.
Yeah.
The famous drink, the local drink that they will serve you or will try to serve you wherever you go is rakia, which is like, it's not vodka, it's made from plum brandy or grape brandy. It's grape brandy, so it's pure alcohol, basically.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, as my grandmother used to say, sometimes you need that. It is medicine because it will calm your tummy down. And that's true. You know, if you feel like upset in your stomach, it literally will calm it down because it's made from nature.
Yeah.
It's dehydrated, fermented plums or grapes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, anyway, so that's that's the story of that. And here we are in Mostar with that famous bridge and the UNESCO site. And here we will have an amazing tour, which will lead us into a old mosque, as well as a home that is of the you know, the people like Islamic people from Turkey, from Istanbul or somewhere. So it is very fascinating to just step into that world and understand it, because now you have a tangibility to it. So it's a homestead where you walk in, and in the bottom part is, you know, usually where maybe they would cook and do all the work stuff. And then you walk upstairs, and here is a big meeting room where the man of the home would meet whomever, you know, whoever is coming, and present them with a cup of coffee or tea. Primarily it was, I think, coffee in a samovar or so, and have a conversation and discussion. That is the most prominent room in the house. And there are those beautiful wool rugs. You know, you're basically sitting on big cushions or, you know, and gathering around that focal point where the coffee is being held warm and served to you. There is also around it some sleeping quarters, but it is truly a special treasure to visit that, to step into their world and understand it, you know. So, and there's of course a bazaar and all of that. And then we venture further and we get to Medjugorje, to the place where we will stay overnight. It's like an overnight trip because it is a distance. And the drivers of these buses, what I learned last time, you see, you explore, experience, and you learn, right? They have a restriction of 8 or something like that hours of driving. And then if they are stopped, they would be fined. So since that day would be more like 14 or 16-hour day of them being on the road, basically. And it's like cramming everything in. So I decided, why don't we stay here overnight and just be in that energy of Medjugorje, which I described before as the heart-centered energy, where all these people from all over the world come with their petitions and seeking that realignment within themselves, right? By connecting through the heart to that energy. So, and I've discovered this eco village. It is a resort with a huge restaurant there. They have utilized the cornerstones and the base of an old castle that was built all from rock, because this is a very rocky terrain. Okay, rocks everywhere.
Sorry about that.
So we will stay there overnight. They have done an amazing job. And guess what? I know the main guy there. I met him on a previous trip through a friend of mine again. So what do you think? So we get a very special treat. And of course, if we have like, you know, food restrictions or we want special things and so on, it is much easier to convey that, right? When you know the person. Okay, so this is Medjugorje, where I think you have more pictures of that, where this is the Mount of Apparitions. You see how rocky it is? There's a lot of rocks there. And can you imagine that millions of people have walked there and these rocks are still there? It is very, very rugged, but the energy is incredibly amazing. I have seen Sherpas, like very strong guys, carrying people that were handicapped all the way up there, and they sit there for a couple hours or as long as they want just to be in that energy, and then those guys come back and bring them down. So it is truly kind of an amazing, miraculous place where people are able to connect to the source.
Do some healings. Yeah.
And then we return back to Sarajevo, to our beautiful hotel. And this is one of the restaurants which is situated by the river, which flows like through the city. And it's kind of walking distance from the hotel as well. So we're having a guided walking tour through the city and just exploring the culture and the nature and the foods and the flavors. And of course, what do you need to do? You need to sit down, relax, and have a good meal. And this is another very unique restaurant, the House of Spite, Kucha, Inat Kucha, which means the House of Spite. Again, you're going to listen to their native cultural music, and they call it, the songs are called Sevdalinka. I think you might like it, and it maybe have a little flavor of the Orient there. And of course, it always tells some love stories, you know, longing, breaking heart, longing, or whatever. But it's very beautiful to just explore that kind of influence and existence. And then the Bosnian Pyramids. Now, it is the fall equinox, and we are meeting with, let's set the intention, Elisa, Dr. Sam Osmanagic. He is our guide for the day, and he's leading us through the tunnels and explaining everything, exploring. We get to the chambers where the megalith, the largest megalith, is situated. We sit around. He's talking about all of the discoveries that they've had so far. I believe I've shared with you some videos, recent videos, where they have concert in there. There's a violinist and a self-made harpist that they play Schumann resonance tones in that cave, basically. So it is energy that is highly, highly charged in negative ions and healing energy. So the Schumann resonance energy is very potent in there. And even if you walk, I think they have like about 2,000 meters in that they have been cleared. It's like a labyrinth, you know, you have to really find your way through it. So a lot of people are reporting health benefits from really serious illnesses. They have completely reversed and gotten completely well. From cancer to heart to blood pressure to sugar, all kinds of respiratory issues. Amazing, amazing stories. Now, they're not claiming that, but they are collecting the data from the people that are coming to them with it. So here we are exploring that, having an amazing lecture and a lunch with Dr. Sam. And then we have the opportunity, is going to take us also to climb the pyramid of the sun. That's the largest pyramid, okay?
Ooh.
Which is, a pyramid, how steep it is,
Steep,
right?
yeah.
It is. But I haven't seen anybody that didn't make it. So we're coming here from Florida, and I must say, I did experience some kind of, heaviness of breathing.
Yeah.
But you know what? You just reconnect, recenter, and you continue and you make it. It's amazing. It's really, but it's the same energy that is experienced in the tunnels as well as on the pyramid. So it is an enhancing and healing energy that really kind of lifts you up and brings you up there.
Yeah,
So,
wonderful.
and then he shows these huge platforms of cement made plateaus, which are actually the structure of that pyramid. So they removed some of the land and the trees, and here you are, you can see them, how they are put together and overlapping, and structured. And it is the hardest cement ever found. They can't replicate it even today. They can't replicate the strength of that cement. It is man-made. It is made by someone. And the pyramids, in accordance to all the scientists that he has invited all the scientists of the world. He says, here, this is what I found. Come and let's decide and see, what do we have here? Yeah. So he invited them all in, and through the testings and stuff like that, they figured out that the pyramids are over 30,000 years old. Okay, wow. So that would make them, from what we know, one of the oldest ones on the planet. Okay. Anyway, so that's what we're going to learn through these lectures, and explore the tunnels and feel the energy. And then we can have a meditation, because we can also go from another point, which is much easier to get to the top. Of course, the plateau is kind of leveled, because whatever was there is not there anymore, right? And usually what the pyramids have, they had either a crystal or gold, tops. That has been taken away, okay? So anyways, but the energy is still there, and you can see they measured the energy. They measure the energy in the center of the pyramid goes straight up, whereby if you look at the Karelian photography of the rest of the environment, it is horizontal. But where the pyramid is, it goes straight up. And guess what? In some of the photos, I've seen a video where a UFO comes into that beam and stays there for a bit and then leaves. It's like a charging station of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fantastic. And being there at the equinox, it's just an amazing experience. So that's just a little bit of that. And there he is. That's Dr. Sam. Yeah.
Yeah. And people can research him too. Like I saw some videos on YouTube.
Yes.
And so definitely check him out. Very interesting stuff.
And he is so down to earth and so humble and so approachable and so open-hearted. He is full of knowledge, but it didn't get to his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's beautiful.
He mingles with the people, he embraces the people, and he talks from his heart. Yeah, I just love that man. He is an amazing human being.
He is.
And I'm grateful that he is with us. So this looks like one of the tunnels that, they have secured, where you can walk through towards those chambers. And of course, here's a group sitting on the top of the Pyramid of the Sun and meditating and doing the meditations, which we can do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And imagine as a group, when we connect and tap into that source energy and that beam, who knows what can happen, right?
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
It is very, very.
Okay. And of course, we cannot leave Sarajevo without visiting this place, the 4 rooms of Mrs. Safia. You see, everything has a story. So this restaurant, of course, has a story. Besides being very picturesque and unique in its structure, it is like a house that has been converted into this amazing restaurant with different levels. The food is 5-star. It's really amazing as well. But the story behind it is a love story again, you know, about a nobleman and this woman, and how, of course, they were not allowed to be together, whatever, but they still found a place where they could be together and experience their love together. So this is like the highlight of our farewell to Sarajevo setting.
Awesome.
And this is the pool that I've been talking about, the hot springs in Croatia, by Pokupsko. So you see that entrance there is like a little entrance at the far end into the building. That's where, you know, you can swim from the inside outside or vice versa.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So inside is a big pool as well, and a lot of people go there for physical therapy as well, you know, and they do whatever, you know, exercises there, as these people are doing, obviously. And so there is a kind of a medical facility there as well. Of course, these are some of the highlights of Croatia as well. So my favorite restaurant in Croatia, where close by where Pokupsko is, where I come from, is Monami. And to the right corner down there, that's the setting. It's very nicely clean, modern look. Again, there's a connection to the owners, and they actually open up the restaurant on a Sunday just for our group and create whatever, you know, we want them to create for that huge farewell meal there. And there's live music there. And guess what? They have their own olive gardens on the coast, because the family comes from the coast. And they did an amazing presentation of showing how they harvest the olives, what do they do, and they create the olive oil, and we get to taste it right then and there. And who knows, maybe there's a little gift in there too. So that is the beautiful Monami restaurant that we experience as well. And there is much more, you know, but, you know, why not be surprised? I'm telling you, I love to go with the flow, but I also love to surprise and delight you. So that's the trip. This is the price, right, for double occupancy. And $500 will secure your spot, and you go to the website where you can register. Pretty much all the meals are covered. I don't think any, unless you go off your own doing something, and you know you want to do something, that's on you. But
so it includes the airfare that you had said we were going to go on
to Sarajevo.
Yes, so it includes all that too.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because I want us to be as a group together, obviously, right?
Yes.
So, and so now I have everybody there, and we can do that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's included as well.
Exactly.
So all the
Very
transportations, all the meals, all the excursions, all the transportation I said already, lodgings. If we have any entrance fees anywhere, you know, like to the park, we have to pay our entrance fee and so on. Any special tour guides, all of that is in there.
Okay.
So there you go.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So basically, you just have to show up, and we'll take care of you.
That's beautiful. That's how I like it. I love it.
And if you want something extra, if you want, as I said, the special treatments at the spa, at the hot bath, you have to let me know ahead of time. We have to pre-arrange it for you so that you can have that. There is a horse farm there that does their own tours and stuff, but I've spoken with the owner, and if somebody wants to do some tracking, horseback riding for a day or something, that can be arranged. And of course, if you want to explore a little bit more before you go on that trip, we can go on the pre-trip excursion to the coast, to Istria. Okay, that is a 7-day pre-trip. which, you know, is a special trip in its own. So it's
Yeah.
another story for another day.
Yes, for
But
sure. And
it's an option.
yeah, an option, and for a very reasonable price too.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so how do you join our Croatia and beyond transformational, you know, trip? So I said it already, $500. You put your deposit down and you fill out the form and send it back in so that we have your information. And then there is a payment, you know, you pay in 2 more installments. If you, well, you can, Elisa, right? They can let you know and they reserve their spot. Or you can go to nadanainternational.com, select the trip, the Croatia and beyond trip, and all of that is there, and you can fill it out and sign it and resend it. That's all.
Yes, and if they're sending me an email, to send it to quantumlifetransformations@gmail.com.
Quantum Life Information at
Transformations. Quantumlifetransformations.com @gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. And then they have to review the terms and conditions, sign the travel contract, and print out the documents.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That is always good to have at hand. And please, you know, check your passport. It has to be.
Yeah, I checked mine. It was expired. I had to send it in today, and I had to do it with like the expedite option, because I've heard even that takes forever.
Yes.
So
yes.
check your passports.
Check your passports and make sure all of that, you know, is set. If you are on some kind of medications or anything, you know, make sure that you are set for that, right?
Yep.
And if you want to, you know, which I think for not much of money, you can even get your travel insurance. So if, and God forbid anything, you know, you have a refund there. That's an option too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I have actually 2 travel agents that can help with the tickets, which I can provide you with if you don't have your own already. So, you know, there is basically all you have to do, pick up the phone or send an email, and there you go.
Yep. And to book the flight, which is not included, to go from wherever you live in the world to that place, that's not included, of course, because it could be from anywhere. So it's impossible to schedule that to include it there, because it would be different prices for everybody.
Yes.
So, you know, you just have to add the price of the flight.
Yes. And I just, one of my connections that has a travel agency, her name is Mirna. She is also a Croatian, but she lives here in the States. I emailed her, I said, Mirna, can you give me an idea, you know, about pricing from wherever, let's say Orlando, Miami, whatever. And she says, it is very hard to pinpoint and give you a proper example. The best thing is to send me the name and the location of the person where they're traveling from, and then I can shop around and find the best fare. But it could be anywhere from $800 to $3,000. Okay. So, and with what we are going through right now with the fuels and all of that, it's affecting the prices. So if you really want to go and you want to secure your spot in your trip, what I did already, I purchased my ticket.
Right.
Because it's always easier to cancel or change. But you have booked it at whatever price, you know, is at that moment, if that works for you.
What's the airline?
I am using, since I had some from my previous trip that was canceled, I had, you know, money's left over there. So it's United, but they're also in collaboration with Lufthansa, because I was looking to fly from Miami, which is the most direct. It goes Miami to Frankfurt or Munich, and then connects to Zagreb. The connecting flight is an hour and 15 minutes, but just getting to one of the main hubs in Europe That's the key. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, they don't have direct flights to Croatia, which they used to have some decades ago, but the war has messed up everything.
Yeah.
Yet they have a brand new, huge modern airport in Zagreb, and they have the capacity of receiving international flights, those big planes, right?
Yeah.
They have it. But I guess, I don't know, maybe in the future. Right now, we have to connect through somewhere else.
So something that's coming to mind that we need to mention is that there's only 15 spots available. One of those is mine. So, there are very limited spots.
Yes.
So if there's something that really calls you and you feel like, okay, wait, this is for me, I
Yes.
have to be there. Definitely, trust that the universe will make it
Yes.
happen for you and do it. That's what I'm doing, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm assuming that the money will come from somewhere. I don't care. I'm going. That's it,
Yeah.
So, so definitely, if it's something that you feel you're called to go, then listen to that. Listen to your gut. But it's going to be amazing. So again, 14 spots. And so first come, first serve with I imagine whoever gives the deposit first would be first
Yes.
come, first serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You reserve your spot. You have your spot. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is
All right.
exciting. It is
I
so exciting.
know, very exciting, very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So I hope you've enjoyed this beautiful presentation. And Nada, thank you so much. It was perfect. And everybody take care. Love you so much.